Welcome to another installment of From the Vault.
So let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat. Let's all go.
Today's movie, 1944's Gaslight. Hollywood always had a knack for making remakes of foreign films, and this film is no different. Gaslight initially came out in Britain in 1940, under a different cast, different crew, everything, basically. It wasn't long before the United States took a copy of this movie and decided to do their own version of it, enlisting director George Cukor of My Fair Lady fame, and of course the great Ingrid Bergman and Charles Boyer. What we got was a psychological thriller that is stupendous. Bergman here plays an English socialite by the name of Paula Alquist, and her aunt mysteriously is murdered in her house. The event is so tragic that she goes away for 10 years to a boarding school. During her time abroad, she meets Gregory Anton, played here in a devilishly good performance by Charles Boyer.
He told me he didn't know who.
What did he say?
He said I should take my happiness.
And will you? Now.
The two quickly fall in love after a brief romance, and they marry. Gregory tells Paula, after a little bit of convincing, to move back to her home in Britain, where her aunt died. Now, she doesn't want to because of the bad memories.
That house comes into my dreams sometimes, a house of horror.
However, he convinces her that this is good. The second they move back into the house, things start to go pretty downhill from there. The once bright and vivacious Paula is being convinced by Gregory that she's hearing things and seeing
Only
things.
I've been noticing, Paula, that you've been forgetful lately.
Forgetful?
Well, losing things and... Oh, now, don't look so worried, Paula. It's nothing.
Because that's where it was found twice before. I didn't know, Gregory.
And eventually he convinces her that she's extremely ill.
Now, Paula, I think you better go to your room.
Oh, we're not going to the theater?
Oh, my dear, I'm afraid you're far from well enough for the theater. Now, come.
He forces her inside the house and never lets her leave.
Suppose the master comes back and asks where you've gone.
Well, tell him I just went for a walk.
By yourself, Mum?
Of course, why not?
Suppose the master asks where.
Well, tell him I just...
And in fact, the one time that they do leave, he causes her to make a big scene, and he never lets her out of the house again.
I didn't put it there, I swear I didn't put it. You be quiet.
Enter Detective Brian Cameron, played here by Joseph Cotton. Cameron starts to suspect that Paula's not as crazy as everybody seems to think she is. And quickly he begins to unravel the mystery himself. Is she really going mad? Or is Gregory playing some cruel tricks on her for his own ulterior motives? And this is one of the great things about Gaslight. It's subversive. We don't know what's really going on. We suspect we do, but do we really? The performances here are spot on. In fact, Ingrid Bergman received her Oscar for Paula Alquist.
But I'm telling you now, I'm frightened of the house. I hear noises and footsteps. I imagine things that there are people over the house.
Ingrid Bergman really deserved every single bit of that Oscar that she
I'm
got.
frightened of myself too. Gregory, please.
The film was directed by George Cukor, who also did My Fair Lady, The Philadelphia Story, and some really other great films that I suggest you check out. With this film, he hones his crafting. The close-ups, the shadows. In the dark shadows and in the light lights, you see a woman truly on the verge of losing her mind. And you see a man consuming her. Cukor invokes this in every scene, and not just with the characters, but with the camera angles. from the fantastic musical score, the spot-on performances, to the great directing. I cannot highly recommend this film enough. Again, if you have not seen this, please go and check it out as soon as possible. I'm Daryl, and until next time, this has been From the Vault.
It's